Let's be honest, we kind of knew that this announcement was going to come. Like, really, Zach Lavine should have been selected as an all-star starter over Trae Young because the Bulls have a much better record than the Hawks do, and Lavine has overall been more efficient and impactful than Trae Young has been. But in any event, it doesn't matter. Our boy Zach Lavine was selected to his second straight all-star game. And with both DeRozan and Lavine being selected as All-Stars, this now marks the first time in which two Chicago Bulls players have been selected to the All-Star game since Jimmy Butler and Pau Gasol back in 2016. Very well deserved for Zach Lavine, given the kind of season that he's had thus far, and also really squashing those narratives that Lavine is an empty stats player who can't win. Well, he gets some help around him, and the Bulls are off to one of their best starts since the Derrick Rose era Bulls, with him being one of the main centerpieces around that. Now, like I said, we kind of knew Lavine was going to be an all-star, even if he was snubbed from the starters list, unlike last season, in which we really weren't too sure whether he actually would be selected as an all-star. I believe he was the last named reserve for the Eastern Conference, and I was about to lose my mind when watching that and hearing it live when I saw a name like Jaylen Brown get called first. But Lavine was ultimately selected to his first all-star game. The year prior, a lot of people felt he got snubbed for that one. But after being selected to his first All-Star game, now making his second All-Star appearance, he is kind of on his way to really being established as a perennial All-Star. Like they always say, making that first one is the hardest. After that, you've already been recognized and more likely to get votes based on the history. Granted, you still have to play well, you can't simply just fall off, but the precedent gets established, and I think we'll see that to be the case for Zach Lavine as well. Now, I've said, some of this before in some of my other videos, whether it be in the post-game videos, my hot takes, what have you, but the thing that I have been impressed with about Zach Lavine the most this season is the change in his demeanor and the way in which he has deferred to his teammates. Like, I don't think people realize, but even when a player says they're all about winning and they want talent built around them, when they're the number one guy and have been for a while, it's hard to accept a role in which you're no longer the number one option in every game anyway. He is on some games, but there are a lot of times where Lavine and DeMar DeRozan will defer to each other. And Lavine accepting that and understanding the bigger goal at hand shows a lot of maturity on his end, in my opinion. Zach's decision-making on the court has also improved. Sure, there are still some times where I want to pull my hair out when he hoists up a contested three in crunch time when the Bulls are ahead instead of drawing up a play, but that doesn't happen as often as it used to. He's limited his turnovers quite a bit this season, going from 3.5 turnovers per game last year, which was a career high, to now 2.8. His numbers in general have fallen a little bit, but you tend to expect that when you add talent around him and he's no longer the focal point on offense, which again, is a good thing, but even for his numbers dipping slightly, he's still averaging 25 points per game on 48% shooting, 40% from three, a career best from the free throw line at 87%. He's getting awfully close to that 50-40-90 club yet again this season, and he's also averaging 4.8 rebounds and 4.3 assists. So a big congrats to Zach Lavine, and I'm sure we'll see more All-Star appearances from him in the future, and I wouldn't be surprised if he makes an All-NBA team for the first time this season. Now, you guys also saw that Nikola Vucevic, unlike last year, was not selected as an All-Star, which is fair, not really a surprise. Vucevic, although has been playing much better recently, has had a down year and really struggled at the beginning of the season, especially with just his general all-around consistency. Vucevic went from averaging 23.4 points per game, shooting 47% and 40% from three, and averaging 11.7 rebounds to now near 17 points per game, staying on par with the rebounding, but his efficiency overall has dropped substantially, shooting 44% from the field, which is a career low for him, and 33% from three. Vucevic has picked up things a bit defensively, but still struggles overall with his rim protection. He's also posting the lowest PER in his career since his third season in the league. So I'm not all that surprised with Vucevic. Obviously, I still think he's an incredible player, but him getting an All-Star selection this go around was likely not in the cards for him. But anyway, the Bulls versus Raptors game is actually about to start. It's likely already started by the time you're watching this, but I wanted to get this video out as soon as we heard the news break to recognize Zach Lavine and all the hard work that he's put in so far this season and getting his second All-Star selection. And how about that? It feels so good to have the Bulls representing two All-Stars yet again. So make sure you tune into the game. I actually will not be having a live chat tonight, guys, but I will have a post-game video. Hopefully it will end in a Bulls win. So thanks for tuning in, guys. As always, be sure to subscribe if you're a Bulls fan, as I do post daily Bulls content. Thanks again for tuning in, and I will catch you guys in the next one.